Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prairajikacharya Astotara Shatashi Shrimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Devi Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 70, and we are on verse 6. So we're going to read 6 and then also 7 through 9. If you click on the... Hare Krishna. Thank you for your patience. We're reading Canto 10, Chapter 70, Lord Krishna's daily activities. We're on text 6. Please repeat after me. But first, I'm not sure if I... Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Atha Plutom Bhasyamale Yatha Vidhi. Atha Plutom Bhasyamale Yatha Vidhi. Kriya Kalapam Paridhaya Vasasi. Kriya Kalapam Paridhaya Vasasi. Chakara Sandhyo Pagamadi Sattamo. Kara Sandhyo Pagamadi Sattamo. Hutanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyataha. Hutanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyataha. Atha Plutom Bhasyamale Yatha Vidhi. Kriya Kalapam Paridhaya Vasasi. Chakara Sandhyo Pagamadi Sattamo. Hutanalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyataha. Would any devotee like to sing? Atha Plutom Bhasyamale Yatha Vidhi. Kriya Kalapam Paridhaya Vasasi. Chakara Sandhyo Pagamadi Sattamo. Japa Vagyataha. Atha Plutom Bhasyamale Yatha Vidhi. kriya kalapam paridhaya vasasi. Chakara sandhyo pagamadi satamo. Hutanalo japavagapam. Ata. Then, aplutaha, having bathed, ambhasi, in water, amale, pure, yata vidhi, according to Vedic rules, kriya, of rituals, kalapam, the entire sequence, paridhaya, after dressing, vasasi, in lower and upper garments, chakara, he executed, sandhya upagama, worship at dawn, adi, and so on, satamaha, the most saintly of personalities, huta, having offered oblations, anala, to the sacred fire, Brahma, the mantra of the Vedas, namely Gayatri, Jajapa, he chanted quietly, Vak, speech, Yataha, controlling. Translation: that most saintly of personalities would then bathe in sanctified water, dress himself in lower and upper garments, and perform the entire sequence of prescribed rituals, beginning with worship at dawn. After offering oblations into the sacred fire, Lord Krishna would silently chant the Gayatri mantra. Please repeat after me. That most saintly of personalities would then bathe in sanctified water, dress himself in lower and upper garments, and perform the entire sequence of prescribed rituals, beginning with worship at dawn. After offering oblations into the sacred fire, Lord Krishna would silently chant the Gayatri mantra. Purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Sridhar Swami points out that since Lord Krishna was in the disciplic succession from Kanva Muni, he offered oblations to the fire before sunrise. Then he chanted the Gayatri mantra. And we're going to also read text 7 through 9. Upastayarkamudyantam tarpayitva manakala devan rishin pitrin vridhan vipran abhyarcha chatmavan denunam rukmashringinam sadvinam motika shrajam payasvinam grishtinam savatsanam suvasasam dado rupya kuragranam kshomajina tilaisaha alankritebhyo viprebhyo badvam dine dine. Translation: each day the Lord worshipped the rising sun and propitiated the demigods, sages, and forefathers, who are all his expansions. The self-possessed Lord would then carefully worship his elders and the brahmanas. To those well-attired brahmanas, he would offer herds of tame and peaceful cows with gold-plated horns and pearl necklaces. These cows were also dressed in fine cloth, and the fronts of their hooves were plated with silver. Providers of abundant milk, they had each given birth only once and were accompanied by their calves. Daily the Lord gave many groups of 13,084 cows to the learned brahmanas, together with linen, deerskins, and sesame seeds. Purport. Sridhar Swami quotes several Vedic scriptures to show that in the context of Vedic ritual, a badva here refers to 13,084 cows. The words badvam, dine, dine indicate that Lord Krishna would give the learned brahmanas many such groups of cows on a daily basis. Sridhar Swami further gives evidence that the usual practice for great saintly kings in previous ages was to give 107 such badva, or groups of 13,084 cows. Thus, the total number of cows given in this sacrifice, known as manchara, is 14 lakhs, or 1,400,000. The words alankritebhyo viprabhya indicate that in Lord Krishna's kingdom, the brahmanas were given nice cloths and ornaments and were thus well attired. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada writes with striking and profound insight on these pastimes of Lord Krishna. The reader is strongly urged to study this book, which contains an invaluable wealth of information and commentary on the pastimes described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Our humble attempt here can never equal the consummate purity and skill of our great master. Still, as a service offered at his lotus feet, we're simply presenting the original Sanskrit text of the 10th canto, word-for-word meanings, a clear translation and essential commentary, for the most part based on the statements of the great spiritual masters in our line. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Ti Namane. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desha Tarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhibhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Just some of the commentaries on text 6. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Krishna executed all of his duties. Being most expert, he performed the Sandhya rites and chanted the Gayatri mantra silently. And Jiva Goswami says, he would bathe in tirtha water, since that is prescribed in the early morning bath. With great care, he would go outside the city. He was the best of the saintly in order to show proper dharma. Or he was expert in the activities of dharma, like Sandhya rites. And for text 7 to 9, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, being self-controlled, Atmavan, Krishna would execute his duties. Daily he would give 13,084 cows with firstborn calves. Okay, and then Jiva Goswami explains more about these groups of cows that Krishna would give. The number of them is quite astonishing. So here we see that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is enjoying the regulated life of a householder. And this kind of regulation requires steadiness, requires self-control. One of the words here is Atmavan, which means self-control. Krishna is showing the self-control. Soon as the cock would make its sound, he would get up from bed, even though his queens were not so happy. Brahma Muhurta time, before sunrise, he would get up. First thing he would do, he would bathe in pure water. Then he would dress himself. Then he would perform his prescribed duties. One of the first things was offering oblations to the sacred fire. Then he would silently chant the Gayatri mantra. And then he would worship the rising sun. He would please the demigods, sages, and forefathers. And in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada writes that the demigods are different limbs of the body of Lord Krishna, and it is the duty of the householder to offer respects to the demigods and the sages. And Prabhupada also says that the Lord has no specific duty to perform in this world, and yet he acts just like an ordinary man living an ideal life within this material world. In accordance with Vedic ritualistic principles, the Lord would offer respects to the demigods. The regulative principle by which the demigods and forefathers are worshipped is called tarpana, which means pleasing. One's forefathers may have to take a body on another planet, but by performance of this tarpana system, they become very happy wherever they may be. It is a duty of the householder to make his family members happy, and by following this Tarpana system, he can make his forefathers happy also. As a perfect exemplary householder, Lord Shri Krishna followed this Tarpana system and offered respectful obeisances to the elderly, superior members of his family. So, as we know, the best way to please forefathers, of course, is by practicing devotional service. All generations are liberated in the past and future. But here Krishna is showing the example of offering respects to the elders, to the sages, to the demigods, and offering oblations for the forefathers. He's worshipping the elders and the brahmanas. And then he's giving at least 107 groups of 13,084 cows. That equals 1,400,000 cows every day. It's inconceivable, right? Like where were they all? Dwarka is an island. Like our intelligence can't really understand these things. So when we come across statements like this that are beyond what we can understand, the best thing is to realize that I can't understand and accept it. Okay, this is inconceivable for me, but I accept it because it's there in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's beyond our ordinary intelligence. Just like a little ant. If you told a little ant about our life, the ant couldn't conceive what a human life is like, right? So we're very small. We can't conceive of the spiritual reality and the spiritual dimension of things. But each of those cows had gold-plated horns. They were good-natured. They had pearl necklaces. They were dressed in fine cloth. The front of their hooves was plated with silver. They had abundant milk because they only gave birth once. So each of them only had one calf, the first calf with them, and they were giving abundant milk. And Krishna would give those cows to the brahmanas with linen, deerskins, and sesame seeds. And in Krishna book, Prabhupada says that Krishna is known as Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, which means his first duty is to see to the welfare of the cows and the brahmanas. And as we continue in this chapter, we're going to see more of the things that Krishna does. So the regulated activities that Krishna does as soon as he wakes up in the morning. Like when we wake up in the morning, we also take a shower, we come to the temple, we see Radha Golokananda, we sing, we chant. We have our things that we do in our regulated fashion. So here Krishna is showing this steadiness, this regulation. And he's enjoying this aspect of householder life. And in one way, we can learn a lot from this: discipline, self-control, determination. Now, in this material world, we do see discipline. We see that people, when they want to achieve goals, like, for example, physical fitness. One time I came for Mangalarti to dress Radha Golokananda. And so it's like 4:15 in the morning, and I saw a person jogging, and it was cold weather, and the person was jogging with shorts, and I was like, wow, if I had that kind of determination in my spiritual life, it was like amazing how people can be very, very determined when they want to reach their goals. So for physical fitness, maybe for education or career, people they wake up early or stay up late at night to finish projects, or for work responsibilities, or even for social activities, people may have determination and different kinds of goals. But in spiritual, having determination and regulation and self-control in religious practices is a little bit more rare. Like you may see it to some extent, like Muslims will have their 5 times a day where they do their prayers. Christians go to the church on Sundays. Some monks, they have like a regulated lifestyle of what they eat, what they don't eat. But it's a little bit more rare because it's not directly, it's the other goals that we were talking about were for me. And then this is a little bit more focused on another level, on a spiritual level. So to come to a spiritual level of regulation, we need to understand that we are beyond our body and our mind. And to understand, because the mind will just want to enjoy, or just want to enjoy through the senses and be whimsical. But we are beyond that. And not only we're beyond that, we're spiritual beings, and we have we belong to a spiritual world. We have an intimate relationship with the supreme spiritual being. And the goal of this life is not to stay here, it's to go there. And that level of spiritual understanding is not so common in this world of, okay, so I'm going to act in this world, not trying to enjoy my senses, but with the goal of going to the spiritual world and serving Krishna. So Prabhupada would make the point that human life is meant for tapasya, austerity. And that really goes against the grain of material life. Because in material life, it's all about enjoying. If you just look around you at the billboards or anything, it's just enjoy as much as you can to the greatest extent and as long as you can. Even if you're old, like keep taking these things so that you can keep trying to enjoy. So to say that this human life is not meant for enjoying and it's meant for austerity is really difficult for people to grasp. And so when we see determination in this world, either it's for sense gratification or it may be out of sense of duty. People may do ritualistic activities out of a sense of duty because my parents told me to do it, or they may do it out of a sense of fear, like if I don't do this, if there's a God out there, he might get angry at me, so I'll just do it, the activities. But to understand at this higher level that I'm doing these things because I have an intimate, loving relationship with Krishna, and I want to have that relationship again. So in order to do that, I will follow this process that my spiritual master has given me. It takes regulation, it takes determination, it takes self-control. And I will do it because I have faith in my spiritual master, I have faith in the scriptures, and I will try my best because I have that goal. So I was thinking how rare it is. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchid yatati siddhaye. Out of thousands among people, it's very rare to have somebody who's interested in spiritual life. And among people who are interested in spiritual life, it's very rare to have those who are very focused and have the ultimate goal in mind. So all of us, I'm just like offering obeisances to all the devotees because they're all very, very rare, because if they have taken this process with great faith and determination. And they have this ultimate goal in mind. Then I was thinking a little bit more about discipline and following regulation. And sometimes what happens is that we may get into a rut of doing things without it happens to me or for all of us. So we may get into doing things just because we're doing it and we don't think anymore why we're doing it and what's the purpose of it. And that is called niyamagraha in Rupa Goswami's book, Nectar of Instruction, where either niyamagraha can mean two things. One is you just don't do the things, the regulations of the scriptures, you don't follow any process, or it could mean you follow it so rigidly, but you have no understanding of the meaning of it. You're just kind of ritualistically doing it. And the problem with that kind of ritualistic activity is it makes the heart a little bit hard. You're just doing austerities for the sake of doing it. And you're just, okay, I said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. But there's no purpose behind it. Not that higher goal. It became more of a kind of a almost it's feeding our own ego. It's like, okay, I'm going to show I can do it. I'm going to wake up I'm going to do this and this. And the austerity without the love can make the heart hard, and that's not, and dry, right? And dry. So that's not what we want. Bhakti is about love and it's about devotion. So how do we keep our regulation, but at the same time keep that devotion? And I was thinking that it's very important that we have that connection with Krishna. Because if we have that personal understanding of Krishna as a person and I have a relationship, then it won't be dry. It won't be just austerity for the sake of it. It will be, I'm doing it for pleasing somebody who's the most wonderful person who's doing so much for me and who I want a relationship with. Even in this world, we'll notice that if you're doing something difficult, but you're doing it with the purpose of pleasing somebody, it doesn't feel difficult. Maybe you've had the experience that you're organizing a surprise party for somebody, and you're working hard, you're spending a lot of time, and you're going out of your comfort zone, but in your mind, it's all for the purpose of pleasing that person. So it's one way it's ecstatic because you're happy you can do that for that person. So that's what devotional service is like. It's you're doing the things that are difficult. Like, it's not easy to wake up early. It's not easy to be regulated every day, chanting your rounds. It's not easy to follow the 4 regulative principles at first. But we do it because we have an inclination that I want to have a relationship with Krishna. I want to please him. And maybe in the beginning, our relationship with Krishna is not so tangible because we don't really know so much about him at this stage. So then it may just be like, I want to please my spiritual master because he's given me this process and I know it. He told me this is the way that I can progress and this is important to do. And I made a promise to him, so I'm going to do it to please my spiritual master. So if that, in any way, if we try to please the pure devotee, Krishna is pleased and Krishna reveals himself more and more to us so that our relationship with him gets stronger. In any way, the things that we do, if it comes from a place of trying to please Krishna, rather than a place of, I'm just doing it because I was told to, there's such a vast difference between the two. Now, how to develop that love for Krishna? How does that relationship develop? Actually, we read in Srimad Bhagavatam that relationship develops by hearing about Krishna, from devotees who love Krishna. The more we hear about Krishna from pure devotees, the more our attachment to Krishna grows. That's why in this purport we have the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are talking so highly of Krishna book. And Krishna book is such a wonderful book. And Prabhupada actually wanted us to read it every day because it gives us a glimpse into the spiritual world, Krishna's life, where we're meant to participate in and go back there. But it's guided by Srila Prabhupada's vision. So it's like Srila Prabhupada's holding our hands and taking us on a tour of the spiritual world, and he gives his commentaries in the middle of the stories. So Krishna book is so wonderful. Every time you read it, you get more and more insights and more realizations, and more attachment for Krishna actually grows. So that's one thing that we could do is hear every day from Krishna book or from Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing lectures about Krishna by pure devotees. That way our attachment to Krishna will grow. And another way to make our relationship with Krishna more personal is to offer some prayers to Krishna. And we can either like stand in front of the deity of Krishna or a picture of Krishna and make it a little personal, like offer your own personal prayer to Krishna. At first it may feel artificial and it may be easy, may be helpful to read some of the prayers of the previous acharyas to help us get into the right state of mind. But after some time it becomes more natural because Krishna is, after all, our best friend. He's seated in our hearts. He's been with us lifetime after lifetime. He knows us more than anybody and more than we know ourselves. He knows us because we're part of him. So offering some prayers to Krishna. And before chanting the holy names, also offering a prayer to Krishna. Please help me to do this with a mood of service to you. Please help me hear your holy name. Please help me chant with feeling, with some devotion so that I can please you. And before we do any services, offering a little prayer to Krishna. Please help me to do this service for your pleasure. I am now going to cook. I'm going to cook for your, please help me to do this in a way that will please you and your devotees. This will bring that regulation, that discipline, that routine activities that we do to the next level, instead of just doing it, which is, you still get benefit from doing the activities, but if you do it with a little bit of trying to connect to Krishna, trying to offer it for his pleasure, that brings us to another level of our spiritual life. And I'm talking for myself too, because I get into a rut also of just, I get up, I do my thing, I start chanting, I don't even think anymore why I'm doing it, but putting a little bit more heart into what we're doing, even if it's something that we do every day. Sometimes what has helped me also is when I sing one of the prayers, like that we sing every day, I look at the translation or the word to word, so that when I'm singing the Sanskrit, I know what I'm singing. So it's not just Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhaka, but I understand what it means. Shri Guru Charana Padma, the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Kevala Bhakati Sadma, they're the only way to get pure devotional service. Bandha Mui Savadana Mate, I bow down to his lotus feet again and again. And imagine when you sing with that meaning, then you're like, wow, it's more powerful than just singing it ritualistically. So this is one lesson that we can learn from Krishna's daily activities here, is he's doing all of these things, but he's doing it with joy, because he's enjoying these Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, so he's enjoying showing the example of being a regulated householder, and he's doing it with love and devotion. He's offering these cows to the brahmanas, he's giving gifts, he's chanting his Gayatri mantra, he's showing the example of how to be regulated with love and devotion. So those are some of the points that I thought of for this verses. If anyone would like to add anything or ask anything, please feel free. Yeah. I was also thinking about, would you want to say something? Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was a good point, that whatever austerity we're taking, try to remember why, so it doesn't become a hard-hearted kind of procedure. Like a mother does austerity for the child, but there's love there, right? So she's okay, like cleaning the dirty child or whatever she does, staying up late nights, because there's love. So the austerity that we do, if we add that aspect of love, then it's it becomes blissful. It doesn't become austerity anymore. For pure devotees, it's not austerity to chant. It's not austerity to wake up early. It's blissful because they're going to see Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Jami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Jami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam.
Page number 61. Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugala Kishore. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugala Kishore. Jivane marane gati aro nahi mo. Jivane marane gati aro nahi mo. Kale nira kule keli Kadamberavana Kalenira Kule Keli Niravana Ratana Bedira Upar Bosha Bodhujana Bedira upar Bosha Bodhujana Shama Gori Ange Dibo Chandanera Ganda Shama Gedibo Chandanera Ganda Chamaradula Bokabe Heri Mukha Chandra Labokabe Heri Mukha Chandra Gatiya Mala Tirmala Dibodohar Gale Gatiya Dibodohar Gale Radhare tuliya dibo karpura tambule tuliya dibo karpura tambule lalita vishakadi Jata Sakhi Vrinda Lalita Agyaya Koribo Seba Charana Ravinda Sharanaravinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasirano Das Shri Krishna Seva bhilasa kore Narottama Das Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Jivane Marane Gati Aronahi Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Translation. The divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna are my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. In a forest of small kadamba trees on the bank of the Jamuna, I will seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels. I will anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste, scented with chuya, and I will fan them with a chamra whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moon-like faces? After stringing together garlands of malati flowers, I will place them around their necks, and I will offer tabula scented with camphor to their lotus mouths. With the permission of all the Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishaka, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narottam Das, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for this service to the divine couple. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Pratipada Purnamrita Svadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Nicha Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajani Nanuragaha Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rahoy Tuki Tvai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patita Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dili Sadrisham Vichin